You've probably heard of the evil eye, right? It's this belief that has fascinated and, let's be honest, kind of freaked out people all over the world for centuries. Well, today we're going to go beyond just the superstition. We're going to unpack the surprisingly detailed logic behind it, and we're using a really fascinating text by Sri Shastri as our guide. I mean, it sounds impossible, doesn't it? The idea that a simple look could have a real physical effect on a kid? But that is the exact question at the very heart of the belief in Nazar. And according to this text, the answer is a big and pretty unsettling yes. This quote just perfectly captures the tightrope that parents are supposed to walk. You've got the pure joy of a child's laughter on one side, and on the other, this constant nagging fear that you're attracting the wrong kind of attention. It's this incredibly delicate balance between celebration and protection. Now, this isn't presented as just some old wives' tale. The source text frames Nazar as a fundamental law of nature, a bitter truth we all have to deal with. The main idea? Just like every beautiful rose has a thorn, every great joy in life carries with it the potential for pain. Think about it like this. A beautiful, happy child is like a precious, flawless gem. You wouldn't just leave a gem like that out in the open for anyone to stare at, right? Of course not. The text argues we have to treat our children with that same kind of caution, shielding them from the intense and sometimes even unconscious desires of other people. So what is this evil eye, really? Is it a curse? Someone deliberately trying to cause harm? Well, the text gives us a pretty surprising answer. It argues that the danger isn't about hatred or malice at all. It's about something way more primal, and maybe even more tragic: unfulfilled desire. The key term here is hasrat bari nigah, which basically means a longing gaze. Just imagine a look that's so intense, so full of unfulfilled yearning, that it can actually overwhelm another person. And you know what the most chilling part is? The person casting this gaze might not even realize the incredible power of their own deep-seated longing. And this is where we get into the physics of Nazar. The text describes a child's life force as a kind of bijli, or electricity. This longing gaze is said to act like a powerful magnet, literally drawing that vital energy right out of the child. It leaves them weak, vulnerable, and really susceptible to a sudden shock to their system. It's a primal concept. And you can even see parallels in the animal kingdom. A python's stare can totally mesmerize its prey. A wolf's gaze is said to weaken a sheep. In that same way, the text argues that this intensely human gaze of longing can overwhelm a child's delicate energy, leaving them basically defenseless against getting sick. Okay, so who are these people with the so-called evil eye? Are they just bad people? Not necessarily. The source actually identifies very specific types of people whose gaze is considered especially potent, and the answer might surprise you. So at the very top of the list are people who have longed for a child for years and years. Their unfulfilled desire has built up this immense power over time. But even parents who have kids can have this gaze if they feel a really sharp pang of envy seeing someone else's child. Now, interestingly, sages and ascetics, they're considered harmless because they've given up all those worldly desires. And a child's own parents are seen as naturally immune. Their energy is the source of the child's life, so it can't harm it. It's like a protective shield, not a weapon. All right, so you're a parent, you're faced with this invisible threat. What are you supposed to do? This is where the source text gets really practical. It moves from theory into practice, offering a clear guide, a set of do's and don'ts for navigating these tricky waters. The key here is all about balance. The text suggests parents should love their children with a pure, kind of detached joy, but not smother them with too much attachment. It's about finding that sweet spot between being proud and being humble. So this means not dressing them in super flashy clothes that scream for attention, not pressuring them to, sing and dance for guests, and maybe toning down the constant kissing and hugging. And it's not just people that parents need to worry about either. The text also warns of other external dangers that can harm a child. You can think of it as a kind of spiritual or energetic pollution, a negative force in the environment that can affect a kid if they aren't properly shielded. And the rules are surprisingly specific. For example, keep children away from strong lightning, which is seen as this raw, powerful source of electricity. Avoid big, crowded places where a child can be just overwhelmed by the chaotic energy of so many people. And don't let strangers hold or kiss a young child, because their energy could be disruptive. It's even said that a simple silver bracelet can act like a spiritual lightning rod, deflecting all these harmful forces. But I gotta say, the most fascinating and maybe the most revealing part of this whole electrical theory has to do with premature babies. Now, you'd think that a baby born earlier would just naturally be weaker and more vulnerable, right? But the source text argues the exact opposite. And the reason why is pretty mind-bending. So, according to the text, a baby born at 7 months is like a blank slate. It has very little of its own electricity. It's still running mostly on its mother's energy, so it's actually better insulated from external shocks. But an 8-month baby, that baby has started to develop its own independent energy, which paradoxically makes it more vulnerable to the jolts of the outside world. It's a wild theory, but it just goes to show you how internally consistent this belief system is. So, what are we supposed to make of all this? Is the evil eye just a relic of a superstitious past? Or is it something more? Maybe it's a culture's really intricate framework for making sense of a chaotic world, a way of managing the profound universal anxieties that come with raising a child. Whatever you believe, one thing's for sure. The evil eye is way more than just a passing glance. It's a window into a completely different way of seeing the world.